When you're talking about an insurance broker who is trying to differentiate themselves through solution selling should, like you say, is starting to become the standard expectation as opposed to the USP. But I come across a lot of companies who believe that the sales staff are doing 100% solution selling, when actually it tends to be around the new business. There is a trusted advisor approach that probably falls short of that approach for the rest of the buying cycle. So when you're looking at differentiating yourself, how do you go about doing that from a solution selling perspective?
Yeah, no, I can give you actually some real examples. I think there's obviously degrees of solution selling. And I don't want to say that relationships don't matter. I'm very old school. I love getting in front of customers. And pre-COVID, I would absolutely, I've been to the UK, I think at least once every 2 months, for the last several years. And so I enjoy that human connection. But the reality is, I think it gets you in the door. But ultimately, the end agency that's selected has to provide the value. And you need to do the relationship side well, but you also obviously need to be differentiated and provide the value add. And when we talk about solution selling, to me, it's along a continuum. I'll give you kind of two examples. I definitely am seeing more agencies starting to specialize and providing a lot of competency in certain areas. Like I was visiting a medium-sized agency in the UK. This was last year. And they had a particular emphasis around pubs. It really became part of their business. It became more organic. But now they really have started specializing in pubs. And they obviously understand the business. They understand where they can get the best coverage. And they specialize in that area. And they have now built a strong competency in that area. To me, that starts to help appreciate this concept around, solution selling. But I've seen large agencies take it to even one farther step. And this is where I think many small brokers need to understand this, is large agencies are really starting to put together very specific negotiated rates with carriers around very specific offerings. So within perhaps a vertical construction, they've negotiated very specific policies with carriers so they can go to market with tremendous expertise around a specific area of business, whether it be, construction or transportation. But they've also now put together very specific carrier relationships and carrier coverage. And I think ultimately that is increasingly how these large agencies are starting to try to differentiate, particularly trying to win the best customers. So ultimately, in many ways, you'll see a flight of the best customers to these very specific offerings. And I think just as an individual smaller broker, I think you just got to realize that's what the strategy is of these larger agencies, and realize that's the new normal. Ultimately, if you do want to win the best customers, providing more and more, value add consultative advice around specific solutions and domains is very important. As the example I gave around cybersecurity.